All I'm feeling right now is the pleasantness of this world. Throughout the heavens and earth, I alone am the honored one. Gojo Satoru is the strongest shaman to date. He can complete any mission all by himself, and this is thanks to his abilities, known as Red, Blue, and the Infinity. With the Infinity, Satoru can stop anything and everything. This is possible because the Infinity is omnipresent, meaning that it is everywhere and anywhere at any time. And Satoru utilizes the omnipresence of the Infinity by bringing it into reality with his sorcery. The sorcery in Jujutsu Kaisen is fueled by cursed energy. Cursed energy is negative energy. When I say negative energy, I am being very literal. The negative energy can come from the user's malice, bloodlust, regrets, anger, pretty much anything that stems from negative emotions. A good example of this would be when Yuji gets mad when Mahito is taunting him while he's at the school. And as you can see, a lot of negative energy is pouring out of Yuji in this photo because he is very angry at this point in time. He's feeling a lot of malice, he's pissed, and so he'd be going through negative emotions. And these same negative emotions are what's giving him negative energy to be able to fight in the first place. And not only does this negative energy allow the shamans to fight, it allows the curses to manifest in the first place. This is essentially the life of a shaman. This is all part of a cycle because the shamans are using negative energy to fight monsters that are created by negative energy. The shamans are fighting fire with fire, but does fire put fire out? No, it does not. The shamans are really just part of the problem because they're just making the fire bigger. And Gojo Satoru is throwing a lot of coal into that fire. But more talk on that will continue in another video. But like I said earlier, the Infinity is omnipresent. And with the Infinity being anywhere and everywhere, Satoru uses his sorcery to bring it out anytime, anywhere, at any place. So he has full reign and control over it. An example of this control would be when he's showing Jogo how the Infinity works. As you can see, when he puts his hand up to Jogo, he's using the Infinity in front of his palm to prevent their hands from making contact. And by doing so, he can also cut the Infinity off. And at that moment in time, after cutting the Infinity off, he then attacks Jogo for letting his guard down. Being able to turn the Infinity on and off just shows how much control he really has over it. This control is also demonstrated through Satoru's training. Satoru trained until his Infinity, which is able to stop things from hitting him, to a point where things would automatically stop before they would hit him. Think of it like this. Before, he'd had to focus on something in order to stop it. But through conditioning and training, Satoru is now able to stop things coming at him on instinct. Which is why in chapter 76, when Shoko says, "You'll fry your brain if you leave it always active," she means it. Satoru's brain would give out from exhaustion, which is why she said he'll fry his brain. But Satoru doesn't fry his brain because at the same time, Satoru uses a self-recovery reverse jujitsu technique, which would be Jujutsu Red, but we will cover Red later on in the video. But through training, Satoru is able to automatically stop things that he thinks are harmful, and Satoru is able to instinctually stop things from hurting him. Essentially, if Satoru saw this pencil being thrown at him as a threat, it would stop right in front of him because of his instincts. And through these same instincts, he did not see the eraser as a threat. That's why it hit him. Because once the pencil and eraser were thrown, Satoru was able to sort out the danger levels between the two, with the pencil being the most dangerous object over the eraser. His brain automatically responded to this, so the pencil was stopped, and the eraser did not stop because it had a low danger level. And stopping objects by their danger level is only the icing on the cake. Satoru can also sort objects by their mass, speed, and shape. When it comes to sorting by the mass, he would stop the heavier object or the lighter object. When it comes to speed, he would stop the faster object or the slower object. And when it comes to shapes, let's say we throw a triangle and two squares at Satoru. He could choose to stop a triangle, and if he stopped that triangle, then the two squares would keep moving. But if he chose to stop squares, then the two squares would stop moving, and then the triangle would continue to move. And this would happen because he chose to sort the objects by their shape. It is also possible for Satoru to automatically detect poisonous things, but that would require a lot more training. Jujutsu Blue is the reinforced infinity Jujutsu, which is the power to attract. An example of this attraction would be when Satoru teleports Yuji into his hand. Yuji was watching a movie at the time inside of a basement, and Satoru, who is very far away, was able to teleport Yuji into his hand. This is all because of the infinity, because the infinity is omnipresent, which again means that it is anywhere and everywhere. And because of the omnipresence of the infinity, Satoru can literally take anything and just teleport it to himself. This would be the attraction of Jujutsu Blue. Jujutsu Red is the reverse Jujutsu, which is the power to repel. This is when things get a little complex. As mentioned before, cursed energy is negative energy. So what would be the reverse of negative energy? Positive energy. Satoru is able to create positive energy because he multiplies his own negative energy. And if you multiply a negative by a negative, it becomes a positive. But how does positive energy cause someone to be repelled? It doesn't, because positive energy actually attracts. So why isn't Jujutsu Blue, which is the power to attract, positive energy? Jujutsu Blue is negative because it is the infinity reinforced. Satoru teleports things by taking away the infinity they reside in. That is why Jujutsu Blue is negative. He's essentially subtracting that space that that person is in at that moment in time. And that's why he's able to teleport things to him. And that's why Jujutsu Blue is negative. Jujutsu Red repels because Satoru is multiplying his own negative energy. When it comes to the law of attraction, opposites would attract. And if Satoru is positive and his opponent, who is using cursed energy, which is negative energy, would they attract? No, because Satoru is still using negative energy. He just uses so much negative energy, it pushes his opponent away. This is because likes repel. Satoru is still using negative energy, and if his opponent is using negative energy, then they will be pushed away. Both Satoru and his opponent will be at negative charges because they are both using cursed energy, which is negative energy. And by the laws of attraction, likes repel, so again, if they have the same charge, they'll push away from him. Although Jujutsu Red is positive, it repels because when Satoru is multiplying that energy, he becomes positive. But the thing is, he is still using negative energy. So that's what causes them to push away from him. That's what causes them to repel. The positive energy is affecting Satoru because this positive energy is what allows him to prevent his own brain from frying, because the positive energy allows Satoru to regenerate, and the negative energy Satoru uses to create the positive energy is what repels his opponent. Finally, after combining Jujutsu Red and Jujutsu Blue, we get Jujutsu Purple, which is an attack that just erases anything Satoru aims at. This happens because once the positive and negative combine, they cancel each other out, which makes them have no value. This attack is void, meaning it has a value of 0, which is why it erases anything it is aimed at. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about Satoru's abilities, except for his territory, because I'm about to be making a separate video on every character's territory that we've seen up to now in the manga. So yeah, stay tuned for that!